Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. I'm gonna show you the General Motors store. Thank you.
So the highest you'll be going today actually is the second level. Okay. I'm going to give you a little history as to how this all came about. We will be taking a walk outside on the patio. I'll explain a lot of things there as well. Where are you from?
I'm from India.
Welcome. Welcome. And you're from? Northby. And you?
China.
China. Welcome. And you are from?
I'm from Boston. These are from people are India. From
India.
India.
Welcome. Okay, a little history first. You know, back in the 50s, Detroit was in its heyday. 35% of the automobile industry was generated out of the city of Detroit at that time, actually.
Okay.
And Detroit influenced the rest of the world back then. Excuse me. Okay, where was I? 1970, Henry Ford II got together with 51 businessmen to see what they could do about bringing the people and the businesses back to our city. And in 1973, they hired John Portman to design and build the Renaissance Center. About 7,000 people worked on it for the next 4 years, and they opened it up in 1977 with a gala affair emceed by none other than Bob Hope. Okay, I'm going to fast forward to 1996. That's the year that General Motors acquired the Renaissance Center as their headquarters. And before they were going to move in, they were going to do a few changes here, quite a few changes here at the Renaissance Center. If you'll come with me out here, excuse me? It's not working?
Turned off.
There. Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, you missed that whole first segment probably. Okay. All right. Come with me though, please.
English.
Okay, this space used to be a two-story berm. You couldn't look out, you couldn't look into the Renaissance Center. The berm housed the heating, cooling for the entire building, actually. But when GM purchased, they needed a proper entrance. So they hired Skid Row and Merrill out of Chicago, Illinois, to design their entrance. If you look up, it's elliptical in shape. It's shaped like a football, and you are standing under 1,250 square feet of glass. They use the space here to display their product line, also to celebrate the seasons as well. Right now they're doing a changeover, and so that's why there's nothing here right now. Okay, People Mover. If you haven't been on our People Mover, I highly recommend it. The entrance is right up there by CVS. Those are the doors you go through to purchase your token for 75 cents. It's a 3-mile ride around the city. Takes all of 20 minutes, and it offers you 13 stops. I highly recommend it. Also, that's the skywalk over to the People Mover station right here. Back when the berm was here, it also supported the People Mover track. So when they switched out, there's our People Mover right there. When they switched out, they had to push this out to stand alone, actually. On this side over here, first of all, I'd like to explain that you're standing in a 5.5 million square foot building with about 400,000 cubic yards of concrete in it, okay? It consists of 7 towers. Now, why I'm telling you this is because we are connected with skywalks to each and every one of our towers, which means you don't have to go outside to get from point A to point B. That's nice when you live in Michigan. Okay, a skywalk over to our Milliner Center. Over in this portion, and this is all part of the Renaissance Center as well, over in this portion we have the Courtyard Marriott, we have condo living, and we have retail and restaurants as well. Over here, the tall building with the peaks on it, that building was built in 1992. It's an office building. It's called the Allied Building. The brown building that you see behind it was built in 1929. Yeah, it's called our Guardian Building. Totally refinished in the Deco art. I highly recommend you go see it. It's just an icon. It truly is. Over here, the church is the Milliners Church, and just east of that is the entrance to the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel that takes you over to Canada, another country. Okay, if you'll come with me, please. Again, you see a lot of black curtains that are all around the entrance here. One of the reasons for that is that they're doing a switchover of models and that type of thing. So that's in preparation of doing that. You're standing in front of the largest vertical art glass structure in the whole world. This was designed by Danny Lane out of London, England. Glass is poured in England, was shipped to Austria, was to be polished and recreated and shipped back to the United States for assembly. It's made up of 1,250 pieces of glass, and each piece of glass is 4 inches wide, 22.2 feet long. It's a very daunting task when you have a piece of glass at that length. Actually, it is like a wet noodle. Okay, so cement base for support with a piece of, it fits into a piece of, the glass fits into a piece of casing, each piece does. Notice the bracket at the top 3/4 the way up, which allows this piece to move 7.2 degrees towards its bookend support. It's called the Aurora Borealis. It represents the northern lights. Each side weighs about 54,000 pounds. This side took 7 weeks, and this side took 7 days. Big difference. I guess when you figure it out, it goes together much easier. I'd like to show you back to the drawing board. They looked at Washington, D.C. and Paris, and they laid it out like a wheel. They patterned it after both those cities. So the main arteries out of our city are the spokes of the wheel. Right here is Michigan Avenue, goes due west.
GM, General Motors.
Here's Woodward Avenue. And see how Woodward goes due north out of our city? And see right there, where the little green patches, that is where it's Campus Marsh. It's the center of the city. It's where a lot of functions start and finish. And also, it's very inviting. It's got a theater for the kids. It's got a stage for some activities. It also has some restaurants. It's very sharp. Also, it is the foot of Woodward Avenue. So that's where they started marking the mile roads north out of the city. From that very point. Also, I'd like to tell you about our queue line, which was opened up last summer, and it starts just the other side of Campus Marsh, and it travels 3.5 miles out to the New Center area. Right, this is 375 south. No, this is 75 south. Excuse me. Right here is where they built the Little Caesars Arena. So that is the ice for the Red Wings. So, and also this was one of his last projects actually before he passed away. Right over here to the north is Eastern Market, and that's where farmers bring in their items to sell. And also over here, I'd like to tell you about this here. We have what they call the Globe Building, and it's not here on the map, but the Globe Building is where they used to design and build the engines for the Freightliners. They used to go up and down the Detroit River. Okay, this is where Henry Ford had his first job, first understanding of assembly. Happened right here. What the city has done with this building, it's historical. What they've done is they've created an outdoor adventure center. Okay, it costs $5 to get in, There's an old boat on display. There's rock climbing. There's lots of things for the kids to do. And it just sits right about here. Just east of that, of course, is what they're calling the DeQuinder Cut. It's an open-air ditch. Okay, what it used to be, used to go almost from the riverfront up to Eastern Market, which makes sense. Okay, but in the Grand Trunk had the rails there, but they weren't using them. So they pulled those rails. Okay, and they made this into a walking bike tour. It's called the DeQuinder Cut. Open air below the ground. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so, okay, right here is where you're at here at, these are the main towers, and these are the two towers built in 1979. Over here, we have the Riverside Apartments. This is where Rosa Parks had her last days, actually. And right here, this is the old Joe, was where the Redmonds had their home ice for many, many years, and they played their last game here a year ago this spring. This is Cobo Hall, including the round building right here, and this is where they host the International Auto Show. That's Hart Plaza. This here, I talked a little bit about the Milliners Church over here, and that's how you enter into the Detroit Windsor Tunnel, which is built 75 feet below the bed of the Detroit River, and that takes you over into Canada. Excuse me. All right, the toothpick track that you see that weaves in and out of our city and through some of the buildings, that's the 3 mile that the People Mover covers, and you can actually see that as well. Okay, I think, any questions? Pretty fascinating, isn't it? Okay, come with me, please. Our next stop is going to be to the new GM World, and a product specialist will be speaking to you about the new space. They're going to talk a little bit about the celebration of the 100-year pickup truck, actually, and you will actually see...
The Silverado.
Excuse me?
The Chevrolet Silverado. The 100 years Chevrolet Silverado, which is dips.
100 years of the backup is of the pickup truck, and you're going to see it right now.
Okay.
Okay, come with me.
And that's what we saw now, right now. Look at this. I want to post it on YouTube. Okay. Everyone is famous for sports car. Sports car, yeah. So bad. Look at this woman.
How you guys doing?
Fine.
Future what?
Automobile engineer.
Future automobile engineering?
Yeah.
That's what you want to be?
Even I learn
awesome,
about
man.
cars. Even I learn about cars.
Yeah, cool, man.
The Chevrolet Camaro Hot Wheels edition.
Yeah?
50th edition.
Yeah, dude, how do you know that already?
That's what I learned.
Well, I think you ought to be doing my job. I'm gonna let you do the tour.
Okay.
Oh no, just me, sorry. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Lots of quarters. Folks, how are you today?
Fine.
I'm well. My name is Billy. I'm a product specialist here at GM World. Essentially what we are in right now is 44,000 square feet of display space. We are not affiliated with a dealership. We don't work in sales. That siren actually indicates when the turntable is going to start again. So we take safety here at GM very, very seriously. So we have, behind those concrete columns, we have lasers that you can't see, but if somebody goes to step on the turntable or goes to touch the trucks that are on there, it will stop the turntable. Currently, it doesn't make any noise when it stops, but it will start so that it's giving anybody time to get off the turntable or get their fingers out, things like that. That being said, as long as I'm talking about the turntable, it is one of the largest turntables in the world. It's 98 feet in diameter, and currently at the pace that it's at, it takes a full 12 minutes to make a full rotation. Annie may have told you upstairs that we are kind of just ending our celebration of 100 years of Chevy trucks. We're very, very proud of that. Hence the reason why what you see on the turntable right now is eight vintage trucks. The earliest model year. Were you already down here kind of doing some research? Because you knew about the Camaro. So do you know what the earliest model is?
The old Camaro.
Yeah, no. The oldest truck on that turntable. Do you know what it is?
I think that green.
It's the one in front of it. So it's a 1926 Superior X. Since you know the Camaro so well, how much horsepower?
450, around 450.
This young man is going to take my job a lot sooner than I had anticipated him doing it. Yes, so this Camaro has around 460 horsepower. Average vehicle nowadays, typical four-cylinder engine, it is anywhere from about 175 horsepower up to about 250, 300. How much horsepower do you think that 1926 has?
Below 150.
Well, that's a big number, man. Below 150. You're like somewhere below 1,000. Yes, it's 35 horsepower. So back in 1926, we didn't have the highways that we do now,
Yeah.
right? The infrastructure wasn't built out. People weren't driving from here to Las Vegas in a day, things like that. So much different application compared to what we see now with that 2018 Redline edition of the Silverado. That one you could easily take cross country with a family of 5 and be comfortable the whole way there and have a nice quiet ride.
Yeah.
If you notice that 1926, it didn't even have doors, right? No doors or windows. You'll see it when it comes back around. LED screens are kind of obviously a big focal point. We are very proud of them. The same company that built the Jumbotrons at Little Caesars Arena built ours. We're looking at 90 million individual pixels. 90 million individual pixels make up what we're seeing right now, which is fire. So there is 4 hours worth of content that is randomly generated. But the cool thing about these LED screens is that we can basically turn it into a big television. When we do a debut or an unveiling of a new model off-site, we have the ability to pipe in a live feed. So 4 weeks ago, when we debuted the 2019 GMC Sierra off-site, we had it up on the what I'll call a Jumbotron, for lack of a better way to put it right now. This glass ring that Annie's going to take you on in a little bit, we were passing out popcorns. People came down from their offices in the towers, and we got to witness it in real time. So it's a very, very cool aspect of the display space that I work in. Trucks are going to be coming out pretty soon. May 23rd, it will be all about racing. Anybody from the area? Anybody live in the area? You live in the area? So May 23rd, we're going to have a whole new installment. It's going to be 10 race cars. Because we're getting, have you heard of the Grand Prix?
Yeah.
Grand Prix takes place over at Belle Isle, so it's a big multi-races, about 3 different races, some trucks and race cars and stuff. Boy, are you taping this whole thing? Don't put that on your Facebook page, all right?
No.
I'm just playing, man. You can tape it. I just play with you. Guys, do you have any questions? Because I know Annie has a lot to show you. If you have time after the tour, we encourage you to come on back down, because we always, if it's not up on a platform, we always make sure that it's open when we're here. We encourage you to get in it and check it out. Ask us any questions if you have them. Do you have any questions? So I've got one question. Where is everybody from? You're local. Where is everybody else from?
India.
Say again?
Rochester. We live in Rochester.
Okay. Well, that's local. So you have reason to come on back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anybody else? Where are you from?
Rochester.
You're from Rochester too? Do you guys know each other?
We got to know each other a few minutes ago.
And yet you're like neighbors.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
See what GM does? It brings the whole world together. Guys, have a great day. Have fun with Andy.
All right.
Thank you.
And I
Bye.
look forward to seeing the cars that you are going to design in the future. Like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
And you'll have my job tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Bill.
You're welcome. Have fun, guys.
Okay, we're headed towards the winter garden, and also we'll be stepping outside on the patio. I don't know if Bill mentioned our turntable. It's one of the largest in the world. And these screens that are right in front, if you watch this as the truck goes by, it's going to give you all kinds of detail on this particular model. This one's a 1936, an XC. Isn't this cool?
Yeah?
So on each and every vehicle, it has all the data for you as it passes by. Okay. Our customer service desk, you can stop and ask questions, and if you get confused or lost, or you can also just pick up a pamphlet here from Stacy.
Oh.
I did say this is a walking tour.
Kind of.
Okay. Welcome to our winter garden. You know, this space used to be... Okay, wait just a minute till we all get together here. This space used to be a pool and a parking lot, believe it or not. This space here. And this was all blocked off to Canada and to the Detroit River as well. It took 8 years to transform it into what you see today. It is called the Winter Garden. It is the gathering room for everybody that works here as well as the guests that come in. Also, it is all Wi-Fi connected. It's over 13,000 square feet. We also have, bless you, we also have about 10 palm trees. And these trees actually grew in California. They're called Washingtonian palm trees. And they're here just to adorn our space, actually. It's all I guess I did mention it's all Wi-Fi connected, and we have restaurants on either side for your choice. We're going to step outside to our patio. By buggy, so we have availability there. On this side over here, our garden room, those trees, coffee trees. trees. They're significant to the Midwest, actually. And of course, our garden room overlooks the fountains that go 6 inches, 6 feet tall, purified water for everybody's enjoyment. At the very end of the fountains, there are we have the Mojo bikes, so you can rent the Mojo bikes, take a bike ride around the city, and you can leave it at another station. Actually, the river walk is over 4 miles complete. If you travel east on it, you will pass through garden rooms, butterfly rooms on your way to Brevard Plaza, where you can board a boat down there for a 2-hour cruise up and down the Detroit River. It's called the Diamond Jack. There's also a carousel for the kids. The carousel is one of a kind. It was designed by the Cullen family, and all the rides are things that are significant to our waterfront. There's also a concession stand down there, so if you need to grab a sandwich, you can also do that. Traveling further east, you come to the MacArthur portion of the Riverwalk. And anyway, the theme there is the wildlife. That's what they patterned it after. So it's a very interesting walk. It was dedicated to the MacArthur family, and he was one of our governors. If you travel further east, it'll take you to Belle Isle. This is Belle Isle right here, 982-acre island. It's connected to the mainland by a bridge. The island is a state park. It's loaded with history. The Grand Prix is going to be run there the first weekend of June, actually. So the track is there. It's got a little golf course there. It's got a boat club there. Walking, biking trails all over the island. It's connected by the MacArthur Bridge, actually. To the mainland. Yes. It is. Belle Isle? Belle Isle, you can go. Yes, you can. All right. You can drive there. You can take Jefferson down and take that over to the bridge. Yes, you can. It's really neat.
So we need to have a state park passes.
Yes, you do. Or, yes. Do you have the state park pass for your license? Yes. So you can enter that way. It is a state park. You'll enjoy that. On this side over here, our west side, the bridge you're looking at is the Ambassador Bridge. It's from toe to toe, it's 1.75 miles across, solely owned by one man, Matty Moreau. The boat you're looking at is Princess Detroit. They offer lunch and dinner cruises, and the dock you're looking at right there is all part of the new Port Authority. So the cruise ships can now stop on our side, not just the Canadian side. Of course, that's Canada, another country, and it lays just due south of the United States. It's one of the very few places that Canada sits south of the United States. If you turn around and look right straight up, the tall tower is 740 feet up, and it is leased from GM by the Marriott. They offer 1,298 rooms and 50 waterfront suites. The 4 towers around it are all 39 stories high, and that in fact is where all your offices are for your various businesses that lease here at the Renaissance Center. Okay, any questions? All right, if you'll come with me, please.
Okay, move on.
ஃபேக்ட்ரி எங்கேன்னு கேட்கலையா ஜிஎம் ஃபேக்ட்ரி டூர்லாம் போகலாமான்னு
அது எங்க
கேட்கலாம்ல
ஐயோ கேட்க வந்துட்டு எங்க இருக்கு மாமா ஃபேக்ட்ரி டூர் இருக்கா
சரி இருக்காங்க
Excuse me, where is the GM factory tour? GM factory tour.
Factory? You're looking at, this is not the factory. These would be the administrative offices here. The factory's not here.
So it's where it is in.
I don't know, honey. I don't understand. What do you want? What are you saying?
No, where is GM's factory?
This is their headquarters.
Okay. Oh, it's headquarters.
The whole thing is their headquarters.
What problems? What they got things? They would report it to the headquarters.
Well, this is where, yes, you're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
Not a lot of computers.
Okay, we have a whole new section that's going to be, this is an award-winning layout. It's going to be called the West Riverfront Park. This will be going in the other side of the Riverside Apartments. Where those tall towers that I pointed out to you, there's going to be a swimming area. It's not under construction yet, but this is the way it's going to be looking. There'll be a playground for the kids. There'll be swimming. We have pavilions over here as well. It's quite fabulous. Right into you. Okay, we're going to take the escalator up.
He looks so dirty.
Over here to your right is GM, the new GM company store. And we will be stopping there. And your next level up here, that's your Grand Prix offices. They're all getting ready for the Grand Prix race. Watch yourself, honey. Watch yourself.
I'm gonna buy things there. Excuse me, the store is down. Excuse me,
Here, you need to take pictures of that, not me. Great overview of our patio, the world map that I spoke about, Canada, sitting just south of us here. And next I'd like to talk a little bit about the paintings on the wall. All four were done by Christine Murdoch, and they all depict a different phase of General Motors. The red interprets the global and diverse character of GM. The blue represents people as part of the production process. The green over here focuses on the importance of our environment, and the yellow focuses on the community support. I'm going to go back to the green because GM is very much into preservation of our environment, and they have taken the oath of going green across the board. And one of the things, and I think you should take the kids out to see this, and it's mounted just to the west of our patio. It's the Bad House. There's the Bad House. And what they did was they used the casing from the Bolt battery to create this. Now the Bad House will house 150 brown-nosed bats. So you say, why? Why would they do that? Well, each bat can eat about 5,000 insects a night, that's why. So they're invited to my backyard now. Okay, in 1970, when they opened up the Renaissance Center, it was very difficult for people to find their way around. And again, we've gone over the size of the building, of 5.51 million. And, you know, everything looked the same, actually. So finally, in the 80s, they color-coded those towers and numbered them. So here are the towers numbered and color-coded. This here's the circulation ring. The circulation ring was one of the very first thing GM put in the building in 1996. And the reason they did it was it connects the towers. It makes it easy to get from point A to point B. It's 1/8 of a mile around. It's made up of 288 panels of glass, and each piece of glass weighs 400 pounds. The glass came from Japan. The steel that holds it together came from Germany. Your cables that balance it and really keep it in place came from England. 4 countries involved in the creation of our circulation ring. We're going to walk on it, again, 1/8 of a mile around. Okay, this gives you a great opportunity to see the plasmas that Bill was talking about and the continuance of all 3 screens all the way up and down. On your right is our blue tower, 300, and behind the glass are the conference room here at the Renaissance Center. The screens are quite fabulous, actually. I feel like you're right in the setting.
I'm gonna post it on YouTube. Okay.
GM Learning Center. Now this is where they have their business sessions and their learning sessions also. So business meetings also go on there.
There is a pony in the world.
The 2 white towers that I showed you on the scale downstairs, if you take this red wall here and take it all the way back, that's your 500-600 tower. And that's where Blue Cross Blue Shield have their offices, actually. How many people do you think go through the Renaissance Center Monday through Friday? Want to guess? Tell ya. We have lots. Okay. We have 500 GM employees, 300 Blue Cross Blue Shield, 200 Allied people, and 200 retail people, actually. I'm not including in my count anybody from the Marriott, so can you imagine? Should they be having their staffing as well? Should they be having a conference? That could be pretty huge. On an average, per day, about 14,000 people, Monday through Friday, actually. You really don't feel it. Each tower has its own entrance. You might feel it in your parking, but that's about all. Anyway, come with me, please. Over here, I talked a little bit about the People Mover. Have any of you been on the People Mover yet? You have. Have you been on the People Mover? Okay, good. All right, well, for those that haven't, if you just go right down here and bear to your right, takes you right into the station for the People Mover ride. If you go to the left, that takes you to the Skywalk across Jefferson Avenue to the Milliner Center. Restaurant down there is Granite City. We have our Green Tower 100. This is where a lot of your banking can be done back here in this area. Kind of green makes sense. Over here, our yellow tower, 400. And those move on further to the OnStar. OnStar is absolutely part of General Motors, and this is where they have their offices and their award winnings right here in this tower as well.
I was so like thrown into it. So it was good.
Walked 1/8 of a mile around our ring, and you have seen each and every one of our color-coded towers. We are now on our way down to the GM company store.
Excuse me. What is inside this one? This Grand Prix.
What?
This what is inside this Grand Prix here?
That's Grand Prix. That's where they are preparing for the race.
Oh, we can't go inside.
You know, I talked about the Grand Prix being run on Belle Isle. It's the first weekend of June.
Okay.
And that's the offices
Oh, okay.
for all the preparations for the Grand Prix, actually.
Okay. Now we are going down to see the store.
Pardon?
Now we are going down to.
I don't understand.
No, where are we going?
We are going to the GM company store.
Okay, then I'll buy something. GM General Store. Corvette. Oh my God, it's. Hey, Pranav, they have Legos. Legos. Oh my God, how much?
Oh, you're going to go in and see those.
How much?
All right, welcome to the new GM company store. Opened up here, a little less than a year ago. They have wearing apparel. They have models for the boys. They have some sporting equipment here.
Come on, let's go inside.
Luggage. Excuse me.
Wow.
Thank you. And they have a display of the vintage trucks on display here. Also, some other models, the Mary Kay, pink Cadillac as well.
It's like
Corvettes. Yes.
the 90s.
No, I don't think so. Here's another one back in here.
I think it's better. No,
Questions for me?
Mama, it's like I'm being in heaven.
No questions?
செம்மையாக இருக்குது. இதில் ஏதாவது ஒன்றே ஒன்று மட்டும் வாங்கிக்கிறேன் பாட்டி. ஏதாவது ஒன்றே ஒன்று கம்மி $40 தான் இருக்காங்க. இங்கே பாருங்க இந்த கீஸ்.
Up there to see an overview of the city would be to rent a room. That's simple.
Oh my God, it's like I'm being in heaven.
A year ago. I have no idea when it will.
Excuse me, is this for sale?
Yes.
How much dollars?
The whole set is 60.
Yeah.
This whole set?
Four.
Okay.
And so it's under. And I have no idea when it will.
I just started working this week.
Hopefully. Should be. Anyway, if you have no questions, I want to thank you for taking my tour today. And go have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.